Okay, we at Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Giving all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What did he say? This is what he's telling us. He said, for thou art an holy people unto the Most High, thy power, your power. The Most High, thy power, has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Hear that? He chose us to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. That's what he told us. If we follow his laws, statutes, commandments in Deuteronomy 28, 1 and 2, we just read it. He said he's going to put us above all. That's the kingdom right now. That's the only thing we can see. The only way we're going to see that is going to the kingdom. Being worthy to go to the kingdom. But you see what we did. Oh, it's just getting started. Going back to Judges, the 2nd chapter. Man, he said we are holy people unto him. He set us above all the nations of the earth. And here we are at the bottom, the very bottom. Judges 2 and 11. Once the generation that followed Joshua and him bringing forth the word of the Most High to us, his laws, statutes, commandments, once that generation passed on, verse 11, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Most High and served Baalim, the feminine of Baal. And that's what y'all call it on when y'all saying Lord. They real slick. That's why I say, look, go to Revelation 12 and 9. See, a lot of y'all not analytical thinkers, so y'all don't think about what it is that the other side is doing. You hear things that, like I told you about the Geiger stones in Georgia, that they, just what their plan is. It's right there written in stone. But when you hear things that show how they're going to do it, and you see, I just went in the scriptures, what the Mashiach told us going to happen in our time, great tribulation beyond any tribulation that ever been in this earth. He said if he make the time short, wouldn't be no flesh left. Nobody be saved. But because of the elect's sake, he going to make the time short. He got to shorten the time. See, but before that, hey, his word is true. Overstand this. But understand in Revelation 12 and 9, and the great dragon was cast out, the old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. His whole job is to deceive the whole world. And y'all sitting back saying, do this, okay, all right. I don't want to hear that. But when it go down, and you be crying and screaming, it's going to be like, hey, you supposed to be already ready. He said, gonna make the time for the elect's sake. The elect gonna be actually making sure they study to show themselves approval to the Most High, knowing the right and the left hand. Like Mashiach said, be wise as serpents. You know what it said? And the great dragon, that's a serpent, and was cast out. That old serpent, that's a serpent. He got serpents. That's plural. That he told us to be aware of and be wise as them. How you gonna be wise as them? You don't know what the hell's going on. You don't know what they plan on doing. How you prepare for anything? Oh, I'm just going to call on Jesus. I'm going to call on the Lord. Using those words to like the Most High. I mean, that they have you programmed to do. And you ain't did what you got to deal with to show yourself approved to the Most High. Offending him. That's what our problem is. We'll keep on offending him and say, well, it's okay. Most High know my heart. Ain't no different. You can say whatever you want to say. You ain't saying that, but you are saying that. If you're not doing what he say do. If you ain't looking at what they gave us to go by, he said, hey, don't even bring that prayer to me. I don't want to hear it. He shut up his ears from hearing our prayer as individuals. But no, he gonna hear you. When you hear these people that knew the Most High, he came down in fire and consumed the sacrifice. And we seeing this, everybody's seeing it. All the things that he done to the Egyptians, that went out to make him a name. What you think? Right now, he ain't gonna make him a name, and you ain't gonna be calling no El Nino, no La Nino, no little boy, no little girl, no Mother Nature, no global warming, no fires, and all the things you see happening on this earth. That's from the Most High. He said you're gonna be visited of the Most High. He not being acknowledged. What you think? You think you gonna just skate through, tiptoe through to the kingdom? Nah. He said in your affliction, you gonna seek me earlier. My second shot is gonna be so great tribulation beyond our imagination. That's what this devil is doing. That's his job. He doing what he's supposed to do, deceiving the whole world. How are you deceived if you don't know what they're doing? That's why I say be wise as serpents. It's coded in here, but harmless as a dove. Humble. You gotta know what they're doing. Look, you better recognize verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Whoa, destruction to the inhabitants of the earth. What do you think that means? Destruction to the people that's on the earth. And the sea, the people out there in the sea. For the devil has come down unto you, that same serpent, that same dragon, that same Satan, that same devil, that same beast, that same spirit of the devil, Edomites, and all those that's under them, that vibration, including 2/3 of the Israelites. The devil has come down unto you having great wrath. Why? Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. See, the Most High made their time short. And he made it so they can't go beyond the time that the Most High say they're going to rule. That's why it tells you in 2 Ezra 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. What he just said. He going to set us above all nations of the earth. But we got to know how to get there. We got to know how to move the Most High for him to have pity on us instead of his anger totally being on us consistently. And we sitting back saying, oh, I'm going to do it my way. Your way ain't worked forever. Our way ain't worked forever. Ain't no man gonna redeem us. Ain't no man gonna save us. He said that in Deuteronomy 29. Ain't no man gonna save us. No man. It's the Most High, y'all. That's why he said, look, this the devil. He said what? Verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. For woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you. Why? Having great wrath. Why? Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Who he coming down on? Verse 17. And the dragon, who is the devil, who is Satan, who is the beast, who is, all of them is red. And Esau, the Edomites, and those that follow the way of the Edomites, they are the devil. You that hate your brother, the Israelite, you a devil too. And the dragon was wroth with the woman who was representing the children of Israel and went to make war with the remnant. That's the 1/3 of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and had a testimony of a Mashiach Yahushua. So when they do that, that's when the Mashiach Yahushua come in. Because he say for the elect's sake, he going to make the time short. We already read that, right? Matthew 24:22. All you wasn't here, you don't know anything about what happened before you got here. So a lot of things I'm speaking on, you don't know because you wasn't on time. So however it is, we know that's how it's going down. He said going to be great tribulation like no time in the world has ever seen. Because they plan on killing everybody they can. Their plan is already in motion. Just y'all sitting back saying, oh, well, I'm going to be all right. Better think again. Judges 2 and 12. And they forsook the Most High power of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods, other idols. Other idols of the people. And I say idols because it tells you in Psalm 96 and 5, for all the gods of the nations are idols. So their gods are idols. Other idols are the idols of the people that were round about them. Like y'all doing now. You grow, you're coming to this world. What you doing? Okay. Y'all running up in them churches and you don't know nothing. Hand you the Bible and say, talk to me for at least an hour. Scripture after scripture after scripture. You don't know if you can't do that. You're not really dealing with the Most High. He's telling us, look, this is us. And they forsook the Most High, power of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other idols, of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves unto them, and provoked the Most High to anger. Go to the 10 Commandments. Y'all know where that's at, right? Everybody in my class should know by heart. I go over this every single Sabbath. Exodus 20 and verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods or idols before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. This is key here. No matter what you make, whatever, nothing that you can see, because the Most High is an invisible power. That's why he said, don't make anything. You can't have nothing and do this. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. That's what we did. And to this day, bow down to them and serve them. For I, the Most High, thy power, am a jealous power. This is what he say, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children. Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Because you can't love him if you don't do what he say do. So you hate him. If you ain't doing what he say do, you a hater of the Most High. You the enemy of the Most High. Because the only thing you have to do is what? Something that's of the world. That's all you have. It's something that you could do that the world offers you. And showing mercy, which is not getting something you do deserve, unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. See that? This is what he's doing. And this the real. So that's what we got to do. Be loved of the Most High. By doing what? Keeping his commandments. Don't follow what these poach-chopping preachers telling you ain't under the law. Or, if you want to, you're going to be hated by the Most High. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of living power, though. Especially now, with my circumstance says, with the Most High, he can't stop it. He said it's going to be so great tribulation on this earth beyond any time in this world. It's going to be worse than the Most High killing everybody but 8 people. Now, you figure that one out. It's going to be worse than the Most High killing everybody but Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth and their wives. I'll be trying to figure that one out. He killed everybody but 8 people. But it's going to be worse than that. That's serious. That's serious.
Has joined.
That's serious as could be. You see? How's it going to be worse than killing everybody on the earth? But Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth and their wives, 8 people. Man. But it is, as it is written. Verse 12 of Judges, the 2nd chapter. And they forsook the Most High power of their fathers. That's why I got to go over this so you can really, hopefully you can learn to love the Most High and care about him enough to allow yourself to feel for him. That's why I'm so adamant about what I'm saying to you, because I love him and I feel for him. I have a feeling for him. It got nothing to do with me or you or anybody else. It's a feeling for him. How did he feel? How do we feel? He said, I love you. Just do what I say do. I'm going to set you above all people of the world. That's forever and ever and ever now. If you ain't working toward that, in a righteous kingdom, listen to it. And they forsook the Most High power of their fathers. Cut them off, man. Which brought them out of the land of Egypt and followed other powers, other idols. Of the idols of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves unto them, and provoked the Most High to anger. Hear that? And they forsook the Most High and served, here we go, Baal, the masculine, wicked, evil idol. And now, the same as Baalim, now I'll give you another name for the feminine that y'all worshiping, like y'all just worship on Easter. Another name for what we showed you through the Spirit of the Most High in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, Diana. Here's her name right here. The same entity, just a different name. You know? Just like our name was changed. We got different names, but our name was changed. All of us got the name of the so-called white man on our back. Right? But was that our name when we came from, wherever they got us from? Or when they took us off our land here in America, or Central America and so forth, South America? Was that our name? No, they gave us their name. So here go another name for, like I told you, Baalim, Baalath, Baalah, the feminine version, deity. This one of Baal. See, this the masculine, like Nimrod, like Tammuz. And here you go with the feminine, Astareth. That's who we're serving, instead of the Most High. That's something. And we'd have seen the Most High, what he did to Egyptians. We'd have seen him kill mighty Pharaoh and all his mighty men, drown them in the Red Sea, and we've seen them at the shoreline, coming out in the sand dead. We'd have been through Mosiah raining down manna, complaining, brought water out of a rock, complaining, murmuring against the Mosiah, murmuring against Moses and Aaron, brought quails for us to eat from nowhere, put us under shade trees in the desert, cover us up so we wouldn't be hot, complain about this, complain about that. Okay, here you go. And we still complaining. Oh, you should have left us in Egypt, brought us out here to die. Verse 30, and they forsook the Most High and served Baal and Astareth, the masculine deity and the feminine deity. Verse 14 of Judges, the 2nd chapter. And the anger of the Most High was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them. And he sold them into the hands of their enemies. That's us. He sold us into the hands of our enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies, because he was not helping us. That's why he say, I'm going to go to my place until we acknowledge our offense. Just how we offended him and still offended him. In your affliction, he said, and seek my face, because he turned his face away from us. He said, seek my face. He said, in your affliction, you're going to seek me early. What kind of affliction we got to go through before we realize, dang, this is the Most High doing this? Man, I've been dealt with from my head to my toe, man. I know. It was the Most High. Point blank. Some of y'all might be, maybe y'all ain't been dealt with hard enough yet. Y'all ain't been afflicted enough yet. Maybe y'all satisfied in hell. But until we as a nation realize what works And as we're going to see, and do what he say do, and do the same thing that our ancestors did that's written in this Bible, then we're going to be stuck here. It's tribulations, y'all, greater than ever been on this earth. Tired of this place, man. Wheresoever they went out, wherever we went, the hand of the Most High was against them for evil. You know why? Because we did evil. See, the Most High is all righteous. He's all righteous. But when you do evil, you do something that's wrong against him, you draw the evil to you. That's what I'm telling you. Most people don't even know why the Most High dealt with Job. Because he said he was righteous. He said, I'm righteous. Oh yeah? Okay, well, that's something he don't like. He sent Satan on him. Wheresoever they went out, the hand of the Most High was against them for evil. Whatever we did, the Most High's hand was against us for evil, as the Most High has said, and as the Most High has sworn unto them. He's told us this, and they were greatly distressed. Nevertheless, the Most High raised up judges. All the solutions are here, which delivered them out of the hands of those that spoiled them, and yet they would not hearken unto their judges. Still wouldn't listen. Like a lot of you, turn me off probably. But I tell you what, those that will listen and really take heed to what it is that this Bible is saying, you got an opportunity. And yet they would not hearken unto their judges, but they went a hurrying after other idols of these other nations and bowed themselves unto them. Can you imagine this? I'm reading this, but it's hurtful because it's like, I don't feel I was part of that. But it's like, it don't matter if you wasn't a part of it, because we all had to go down behind what they did. It is what it is. Look at Ezekiel 21. So you get an understanding why a lot of y'all think that when the Most High brings the judgment on the nations, that some of them that's right, or in your eyes is right, that they don't deserve to receive the judgment of the Most High. But let me show you what he did to his chosen people, so you get an understanding. Go to Ezekiel 21 and 2. Son of man, set thy face toward Jerusalem and drop thy word toward the holy places. That's where we were living in Israel, the land of Israel. And prophesy against the land of Israel, right? But the people live in the land and on the land. And say to the land of Israel, thus say the Most High, behold, I am against thee. Talking to the land, right? But we the ones that lived on the land and in the land, and will draw forth my sword out of its sheath, and will cut off from thee the righteous, those that's keeping the laws of the Most High, doing right by the Most High, and the wicked. You that? Saying then that I will cut off from thee the righteous and the wicked, therefore shall my sword go forth out of its sheath against all flesh from the south to the north, that all flesh may know that I, the Most High, have drawn forth my sword out of its sheath. It shall not return any more. Say, let you know. The righteous and the wicked went into captivity, slavery, and bondage of we the Israelites behind what the wicked done. That's why it says in Isaiah 14:21. Prepare slaughter for his children. Why? For the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. You see? It's over. So we got to pay. That's why, in fact, since I'm there, go to Lamentations. Book of Lamentations. 5th chapter, 7th verse, as far as dealing with us. We the children of Israel. The Most High's chosen people. What did it say? Our fathers have sinned. See? Our forefathers sinned and are not. They're not here. And we who are the 12 tribes of Israel that lived during the time that the judgment came down upon us to go into captivity, slavery, and bondage, and we have borne their iniquity. See? We carried their iniquity. That's why I say the Most High deal with 3 to 4 generations. 3 to 4 generations. Going back to Judges 2. Verse 15. Whatsoever they went out, wherever we went out, the hand of the Most High was against them for evil, because we did evil and not doing what he said do. That's why don't listen to nobody talk about you ain't got to follow his law, or you going to remain in the evil side of the Most High, as the Most High has said, and as the Most High has sworn unto them, and they were greatly distressed. Nevertheless, the Most High raised up judges, which delivered them out of the hand of those that spoiled them. Because he sent spoilers on us, nations that spoiled us and took everything we had. And yet they would not hearken unto their judges, but they went a-whoring after other idols, and bowed themselves unto them. They turned quickly out of the way which their fathers walked in, obeying the commandments of the Most High, but they did not so. You see? And when the Most High raised them up judges, then the Most High was with the judge, and delivered them out of the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For it repented the Most High because of their groanings. It repented the Most High because of our groanings, crying out, by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them. See, maybe we ain't been oppressed and vexed enough that we can actually start groaning and crying to the Most High as a nation. Remember, he had no respect to person. He had respect, and he looked upon our groanings and our cries, and he had respect unto Israel. Remember we read that in Exodus 2:25 and 23 on down? Why the Most High had respect unto us? Because we cried, we heard our groanings. Like I said, now, this is going to happen over and over again. If it can't seek into your mind, you prideful, and you don't care nothing about the Most High, and you don't care about a solution that will work and always worked. And it came to pass, when the judge was dead, that they returned and corrupted themselves. Let's talk about us, the Israelites. More than their fathers, in following other idols to serve them and to bow down unto them. They ceased not from their own doings, nor from their stubborn way. And the anger of the Most High was hot against Israel. And he said, because that this people have transgressed my covenant, which I commanded their fathers, and have not hearkened unto my voice, I also will not henceforth drive out any from before them of the nations, which Joshua left when he died, that through them I may prove Israel, and vexing us, like you say, vexing us and oppressing us. I may prove Israel, whether they will keep the way of the Most High to walk therein, keep his laws, statutes, commandments, to walk in his laws, statutes, commandments, his rules and regulations, as their fathers did keep it or not. Therefore the Most High left those nations without driving them out hastily. Neither delivered he them into the hand of Joshua. See that? This is what we did. Judges 3. Now these are the nations which the Most High left to prove Israel by them, even as many as Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan, only that the generations of the children of Israel might know, to teach them war, at the least such as before knew nothing thereof. They know how to be no warriors, so he teach them war, because we're going to have to fight. Namely, 5 powers of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites, and the Sidonians. Like, see they got that word L-O-R-D there, which we went back to what? I showed you in the Bible dictionary was B-A-A-L. But a lot of you y'all had a compact Bible dictionary, the Zondervan compact Bible dictionary, you ain't ever looked it up. The first word under B is B-A-A-L, and it means L-O-R-D. And they put it here, so all you saying it, praise the Baal, B-A-A-L, Salakia. Sorry. Like I say, I'm trying to get out of it myself, because it's right here, you know. And y'all read it just like it's y'all calling on them idols, man. That's real. Look it up. Do your research. You'll see. I mean, why would they have you calling on your power instead of something that would have you not receive favor from him? As I'm telling you, that's what I want. I want us to have favor with the Most High. I want us to cry to the Most High so he can look down upon the children of Israel. We read in Exodus 2:25 and have favor and show respect unto us and not be angry with us. Verse 2, only that the generations of the children of Israel might know, to teach them war, at the least, such as before knew nothing thereof, namely 5 powers of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites, and the Sidonians, and the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon unto the entering of Hamath. And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of the Most High, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. And the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, Hivites, and Amorites, and Perizzites, and Hivites, and Jebusites, and they took their daughters to be their wives. When we read that in Deuteronomy 7 and 3 in the law, don't let your sons and your daughters marry within those nations that he drove out from among us. He told us to kill them all. No, we didn't do that. You see what we did? He said, don't let them marry, because they're going to make your sons turn away from me and follow their gods, their idols. Here it is. And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their idols. You see that? Just like it is now. In these religions. Y'all following just how these religions would have you follow. Therefore, the judgment is upon us. It ain't been lifted off of us. Seems like it's getting worse and worse. Like he said, it's going to be greater than great tribulation that has never been in the earth before. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Most High, and forget the Most High, their power, and serve Baalim and the groves. You see? That's the feminine version of Baal. Fertility that I showed you, her name is Diana. Diana, that I just showed you in the Zondervan Van Compact Bible Dictionary. I just asked the Most High to forgive me for even mentioning these names about Shema Shakta. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Most High, and forget the Most High their power, and served this idol, which is the feminine version of the male, the fertility god that I just showed you. That's in the New Testament. That's what they call her there. Here she's called Baalim and the groves, you see? This is what we did. And that's like plural. That's many. You see what I'm saying? The feminine version, but it's still many. Not just one idol, this is many. That's plural. And the groves. These Canaanite idols. But they're all dealing with goddesses, the feminine version. Going all the way back to Semiramis, Genesis, the 10th chapter. Therefore, the anger of the Most High was hot against Israel, and he sold him into the hand of Shushan Rishathaim, king of the Mesopotamia. And the children of Israel served Shushan Rishathaim 8 years. And when the children of Israel, this is a solution, y'all, cried unto the Most High. Did it say individuals? Did it say the judge did, this judge did, those judges did, the ones that was ruling us or whatever, telling us what to do? It said when the children of Israel cried unto the Most High, the Most High raised up a deliverer to the children of Israel, who delivered them, even Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. And the Spirit of the Most High came upon him, and he judged Israel and went out to war. And the Most High delivered Shushan Rishathaim, king of the Mesopotamia, into his hand. And his hand prevailed against Shushan Rishathaim. And the land had rest 40 years. And Othniel, the son of Kenaz, died. He died. But we had rest for 40 years. Then he died. Here we go. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Most High, and the Most High strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, so-called Chinese indigenous, I might say. Moab against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Most High. Now you're going to tell me, if you don't do what he say do, you ain't following this law, you ain't under the law of the Most High, who wrote on with the finger of the Most High and the work of the Most High, that you're righteous? You're righteous? And you're not doing what he say do? You telling the people that they don't have to do what he say do, but follow you? And say the things you say and not what he said? That's why the Most High raising up all these nations against us. This is so-called Chinese, Moab, against Israel, indigenous, I might say. Because they had done evil in the sight of the Most High. And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon, so-called indigenous Japanese, and Amalek, the so-called Jewish people today. Esau's grandson, and possessed the city of palm trees, possess our cities. 3 nations, Moab, Ammon, and Amalek. The Chinese, the Japanese, and the so-called Jewish people today, all so-called. Verse 40, so the children of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years. So all 3 of them nations had us in captivity for 18 years. Because we did evil in the sight of the Most High. We listened to somebody say that we not under the law of the Most High. But when the children of Israel cried unto the Most High, the Most High raised them up a deliverer again, Ehud the son of Kirah, a Benjamite, a man left-handed. And by him the children of Israel sent a present unto Eglon, the king of Moab, the one that got us in captivity, slavery, and bondage for 18 years. But Ehud made him a dagger which had 2 edges. I mean, it had a dagger that had 2 edges of a cubic length. And he did gird it under his raiment. He put it under his raiment. He hid it under his raiment. Upon his right thigh. See? He hid it under his raiment, under his right thigh. And he brought the present unto Eglon, king of Moab. And Eglon was a very fat man. And when he had made an end to offer the present, he sent away the people that bear the present. Say, go ahead and, dismiss yourself, let me just be with the king. But he himself turned again from the quarries that were by Gilgal, and said, I have a secret errand unto thee, O King Eglon. Who said, keep silence? He said, hey, be quiet. And all that stood by him went out from him. They all left. And Ehud came unto him, and he was sitting in a summer parlor, which he had for himself alone. And Ehud said, I have a message from the Most High unto thee. And he arose out of his seat. And Ehud put forth his left hand, because remember he's left-handed. He put that dagger on his right thigh. He put forth his left hand and took the dagger from his right thigh and thrust it into his belly. Whew! Thrust it to his belly. Listen what came out of this dude's belly. And the haft also went in after the blade. And the fat closed not. And the fat closed upon the blade. So he was so fat. When the blade went in, the fat came over the blade, right, of his stomach. And the fat closed upon the blade so that he could not draw the blade, the dagger, out of his belly. He couldn't even pull it out. And the dirt came out. And the dirt came out. That's how nasty this sucker was. And the dirt came out. Then Ehud went forth through the porch and shut the doors of the parlor upon him and locked them, so they couldn't come in to get him. When he had gone out, his servants came. And when they saw that, behold, the doors of the parlor were locked, they said, surely he covered his feet in his summer chamber. So he's just in there resting. And they tarried till they were ashamed. And behold, he opened not the doors of the parlor. Therefore they took a key and opened them. And behold, their master was fallen down dead on the earth. And Ehud escaped while they tarried and passed beyond the quarries and escaped unto Sirath. See. And when it came to pass when he had come that he blew a trumpet in the mountain of Ephraim, and the children of Israel went down with him from the mount, and he before them, and he said unto them, follow after me, for the Most High have delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. And they went down after him, and took the fords of Jordan toward Moab, and suffered not a man to pass over. And they slew of Moab at that time about 10,000 men, all lusty, and all men of valor, men of war, and they escaped not, and there escaped not a man. So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest 80 years. So we had rest 40 years first. Now we got rest 80 years. A score is 20 years. That's 80 years. And after him was Shamgar, the son of Anas, which slew of the Philistines, like Samson, 600 men with an ox goad. And he also delivered Israel. See? Chapter 4, Judges 4 and 1. And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Most High when Ehud was dead. And the Most High sold him into the hand of Japin, king of Canaan, that reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose host was Sisera, which dwelt in Hareseth of the Gentiles. And the children of Israel cried unto the Most High. The solution. As a nation, we cried unto the Most High, for he had 900 chariots of iron. In 20 years, he mightily oppressed the children of Israel. So you see all these captivities that we going in that nobody talks about? You see? 8 years, 18 years, now 20 years under him. And the children of Israel cried unto the Most High, for he had 900 chariots of iron. In 20 years, he mightily oppressed the children of Israel. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapithoth, she judged Israel at that time. And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in Mount Ephraim, northern Israel. And the children of Israel came up to her for judgment. And she sent and called Barak, the son of Benaniah, out of Kadesh Naphtali, and said unto him, Have not the Most High power of Israel commanded, saying, Go and draw toward Mount Tabor, and take with thee 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali and of the children of Zebulun, and I will draw unto thee to the river Kishon Sisera, the captain of Jasmin's army, with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him into thine hand. And Barak said unto her, If thou will go with me, then I will go. But if thou will not go with me, then I will not go. See, he's dependent on her. She already said the Most High with him. And she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thine honor. For the Most High shall sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. And Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. But she didn't fight in the war. Our women didn't fight in the war. You see, understand this, overstand this. She didn't fight in the war. Look at verse 17. Remember, she said that he was going to die by the hand of a woman, right? So it said, howbeit Sisera fled away on his feet to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. But there was peace between Japhan, the king of Hazor, and the house of Heber the Kenite, right? And Jael went out to meet Sisera and said unto him, turn in, my master, turn in to me, fear not. And when he had turned in unto her, this is Yahweh, y'all. And when he had turned into her, into the tent, she covered him with a mantle, covered him up with a mantle. Be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. She's very humble. And he said unto her, give me, I pray thee, a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. And she opened a bottle of milk and gave him drink and covered him. I wonder, I always thought about that, because she opened a bottle of milk. What did they use to keep that milk from spoiling? They had to have some kind of coolness, right? She opened a bottle of milk. It didn't spoil. And gave him drink and covered him. Again he said unto her, stand in the door of the tent. And it shall be, when any man does come and inquire of thee and say, is there any man there here? That thou shalt say, no. Lie to him. Say, no, I'm not here. Don't let him know I'm in here. Then Jael, Heber's wife, took a nail of the tent and took an hammer in her hand and went softly unto him, very gently unto him, with this nail of the tent and the hammer in her hand, and went softly unto him and smote the nail into his temples. He laying there like that. She took the nail and took the hammer and went into his temple. That's from this side to that side as he laying down. And smote the nail into his temples and fastened into the ground. For he was fast asleep and weary. So he died. And behold, as Barak pursued Sisera, Joel came out to meet him and said unto him, come, and I will show thee the man whom thou seekest. And when he came into her tent, behold, Sisera was dead. He lay dead, and the nail was in his temples. So the Most High subdued on that day Jaspin, the king of Canaan, before the children of Israel, and the hand of the children of Israel prospered and prevailed against Jaspin, the king of Canaan, until they had destroyed Jaspin, king of Canaan. See that? Got a few more to go. Look at Judges 13. But you see, every time we were delivered was when we did what? As a nation, we cried unto the Most High. Judges 13:1. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Most High. And the Most High delivered them into the hand of the Philistines 40 years. And there was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah. And his wife was barren, and bare not. And the angel of the Most High appeared unto the woman, and said unto her, behold now, thou art barren, and bearest not. But thou shalt conceive, you're going to get pregnant, and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. You couldn't drink any wine, any strong drink, or any unclean thing. And lo, thou shalt conceive, and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head, but the child shall be a Nazarite unto the Most High from the womb. So the Nazarites didn't cut their hair. And he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. So, and going into it, We know that that was Samson. He did deliver us out of the hand of the Philistines. Let me get out of Judges right here. Let me go to Judges 10 and 10. And this is what should have been read on the day after the Passover, which is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Now, before we go there, let's go up to verse 6. Judges 10 and 6. And the children of Israel, who we are, did evil again in the sight of the Most High, and served, there it is, Baalim and Ashtaroth. These are many idols. You see? The males that are idols, and the feminine, the females that are idols. The idols of Syria, and the idols of Zidon, and the idols of Moab, and the idols of the children of Ammon, and the idols of the Philistines, and forsook the Most High, and served not him. And the anger of the Most High was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hands of the Philistines, and into the hands of the children of Ammon. In that year they vexed and oppressed the children of Israel 18 years. All the children of Israel that were on the other side of Jordan in the land of the Amorites, which is in Gilead. Moreover, the children of Ammon passed over Jordan to fight also against Judah, and against Benjamin, and against the house of Ephraim. So that Israel was sore distressed. Most I let all this go down. Remember, say, I ain't gonna fight for you no more. You don't want to follow me? You're on your own. Like it is now. Y'all want to continue to follow all these religions and all the things that's not really dealing with the truth, which is the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High? Say, he ain't gonna be with you. And the children of Israel cried unto the Most High. It don't say individual, it say we as a nation cried unto the Most High, saying, we have sinned against thee, both because we have forsaken our power and also served these idols, Baalim, many of them. And the Most High said unto the children of Israel, did not I deliver you from the Egyptians? Listen to this closely, because this is a solution here. This is the Most High talking to you, talking to us. And the Most High said